Well, guys, I hope we'll be doing some engine runs, but we had some hiccups along the way. I'll show you what's been going on. One of my wings has a new fuel tank, and the other one has the original fuel tank. And we decided to test out the fuel system for leaks. I'll show you what's going on. See those, the tanks come down that post, and then there's the valves under the dash here on each side for each wing tank. And the tanks check good down to that. They come into a T that goes into the main fuel tank under here. And that was leaking a little bit. I was able to take it apart and put some sealant on the threads and fix that part. But I also had a leaky valve on the bottom of the fuel tank. So I had to take that out of the tank, and while I was doing that, opened up what I think was already probably a hairline crack that got worse in the threads. It's called the bung in the bottom of the fuel tank. So ended up having to take the whole fuel tank out of the airplane, the fuselage tank, which was a major pain in the booty. The way it mounts is there's two long tubes, rods. Here's one of the rods. And they make an X pattern, and they go underneath the dash in an X, and they actually run through the tank. There's a tube inside the tank, and that holds the tank vertically in position. So getting the tank out wasn't that big of a deal, but the problem is all my engine cables, the control cables, run under that tank. So we had to take all the engine cables back out. We had to lower the whole this whole control column assembly down and out of the way, so I could drop the tank and then take it out of here. But it really only took about half a day, which wasn't as bad as I thought. But I've got the tank out. I'll show you what we're doing to that. My neighbor Kurt is a really good welder with the TIG machine, and we're gonna try to repair and retap the threads on that tank, and then put a new valve in, and hopefully then we got our fuel issues fixed, at least with the airplane system. But engine fuel system wise, you'll notice here also carburetor's not on the engine anymore. The carburetor is sitting right here because the carburetor was also leaking fuel. So we're gonna open that up and see if there's an issue with the float or some gaskets that need to be replaced. But run into a few snags. In the meanwhile, I've got the Jerry struts installed. What they do is they steady up these main wing struts, keep them from vibrating and shaking, and just stiffen them up. You can see I've got one of the fairings on. I got to still do the other side, and then I've got the two main fairings that wrap around the wing. Those took me a good while, but they are finished now. There you can see. Because of that skylight that I added, there's a little hump here that was a little bit tricky, but I think we got them laying down pretty good now. So we got our fairings on. I got to still make the right side landing gear fairing and then paint those. And then we're chasing these fuel leaks. Once we get the fuel leaks addressed, we're going to make sure we're getting some oil moving around in the engine, and then we're going to try to crank it up. So I'll show you a look at that fuel tank. Well, instead of starting an engine, we got a fuel tank soaking in my bathtub. I got some hot soapy water soaking in there, just to kind of open up the pores and get rid of any fuel contamination before we do the weld repair on the bung on the bottom of the tank. I'll show you the little crack later on. But it's always something. No right mag, huh? No right mag. Oil pressure right up to 30. Some slow rise, but once it finally came to, so oil pressure. we got some. Oil temperature has never come off the tank. Never will. It's pretty chilly.
You're taxiing around, it won't. So you might get a little good before you take off.
That's what I counted. You know, advance the power there, kind of load it up for a second.
Yeah. That could be a fixture problem. I started to tell you to watch for the RPM. We're only running on one mag. It's not going to tell us.
All right, guys. Well, you saw we got it running, which was really exciting. Couple little issues. We had a bit of an oil leak, which was on. We got new lines, but we reused some old fittings, and we had a problem with one of the fittings, and so we got that replaced. And it wasn't running on one of the mags, and that was a wiring issue at the mag switch. So I believe we've got that fixed as well. We got good oil pressure. It fired right off. So going to do another run today and make sure we're still getting oil pressure. These old Continentals, what happens if there's any wear in the case, accessory case, or in the old pump gears, the oil will drain out of there when it sits, and then it won't make enough suction to make oil pressure the next time. So hopefully it's still making oil pressure. So keep an eye on that. Make sure she runs on both mags. Do a short run. Look for any kind of more oil leaks as you continue to check this engine out. Alrighty, a little chilly today. Alright, the mixture's on. Battery's on. Put it on the left mag. Here we go. Clear! right, let's go see if there's any oil outside. Nothing big on this side. Alright, and this is the line here above the oil filler. It was leaking yesterday and it is not leaking today. So that's fixed. We got the two problems fixed. I'm gonna have Sully come over and maybe another couple of my mechanic buddies, and we'll give it a more thorough check. It's got a little RPM drop on that right mag, but we'll see if that's in limits or not. Make some adjustments if necessary. But hey, we got a Taylorcraft that starts right up. All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in for this latest update. Glad we finally got this thing running. That's pretty exciting. Thanks to my buddy Sully for helping me get the engine going. Thanks to my friends and mechanics, Kurt and Ken, especially Kurt for welding up that fuel tank. We got the whole fuel system is checked out. Nothing's leaking. It's all working good. We got an overhauled carb on here now. No more oil leaks. We're just going to run it some more and make some adjustments. Take the filter out pretty soon and see what kind of metal we're making and that kind of stuff. You know, fingers crossed. Hopefully we get flying it pretty shortly. Do some taxi tests, but we're making some good progress. Got all the fairings done. It's really down to doing the paperwork and getting this thing in the air. So we'll keep you posted. Thanks for stopping by. We'll see you on the next episode of Flying with Brian.